today I'm gonna talk a little bit another type of stressor. So today is gonna be existential stressor. This type of stressor is related more about our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, our way to think about our place in the world. I'm going to mention different categories so you can maybe identify if you're related to one of them, a few of them. Maybe you experienced them in the past, maybe you experienced them now, and so you can identify that it can be causing stress, because sometimes there are situations that can be very stressful. So the first category that I'm going to mention about existential stress is going to be about not feeling in control, uncertainty, or predictability. So who doesn't feel related to this one? I think everyone went through to this uncertainty and no control when COVID happens, and it was very stressful for the majority of us. So when we experience this uncertainty and not enough control, it can be very stressful for us and not know exactly what's going to happen. So another one is when we feel too much freedom and responsibility for making the correct choice. So whoever feel identified when you needed to make a decision or very important decision, then you're worried, oh, did I took the right choice? Did I make the right choice? So it can be very, very stressful for us getting into this type of situation because we are not sure what is going to be the result. So we are worried about if it was the correct choice. Another one is when we go through to identity transitions. The most common one is when we go from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, and another one can be when we go through to childless to parenthood. So this can be very stressful, getting to these new roles, and sometimes we don't know exactly what we need to do, but it's part of the experience that we need to go through. So but it can be this transition can be very stressful. Another one then that it can be mentioned in existential stress can be loss and grief, and this one is not only related about losing a person that you loved or a pet. It also can be related to a job, or to an idea or a project, or something that is very, very important for you, that you invest a lot of time, energy, and it also can feel as a loss, and it can be very stressful. Whoever experienced that understand how stressful it can be to maybe lose a business or an idea, and also whoever be losing someone that they love is very understandable how stressful can be. When we ignore certain needs and emotions, and this one is when we sometimes we just do the things that we think is right for us, and sometimes we hide our feelings, and just because we are more focused about what is we think is the correct thing to do at that moment. Sometimes like when we take a career decision, sometimes we tend to decide thinking about what is best for us and our future more than what we actually really want to decide. So when we try to to push our feelings a little bit away and be more reasonable, it can be very stressful, and sometimes people can feel not very fulfilled about what they do, because it's not something that they love to do. So they can be related, and they can be very stressful when you feel that you're doing something that is not very meaningful for you to do. Another one is about not meeting expectation. So who doesn't live in the world I should do this one, and I should do that. And sometimes we set up very high expectation. Sometimes it's not only about ourselves. Sometimes it can be related to you want to achieve expectation for another person. So I can feel related a little bit about this. I have a high expectation of myself, so it can be very stressful when you all the time trying to meet those expectations. So it can be very stressful sometimes. And another thing that we can include on this one is about that these type of stressors, they are not actually a real threat, and they are more about our way to think, our thoughts, our beliefs, and all these emotions can be activating the stress response on us. So it's not actually something real that is physical happening to you, and it's not about a situation that it can hurt you in a way. So it's more about the way we perceive them, these situations. So, and it's related also about our feelings, our beliefs, our way to think, that it can make them as a stressor. And so because for another person, maybe they go to the same situation and they don't they can feel stressed maybe during a certain period of time, but then they just find they don't get activated the stress response as usual, so as constant. So, and it's very important to understand. We're going to talk a little bit about our perception and how important it can be for us in the way to activate or not the stress response on us. So it's very important, our perception, how it works related to our beliefs, thoughts and emotions. Because like I said, for someone else maybe it's not something that it can be stressful. They just deal with the situation, and it's nothing that it worries them. So, but for another person can be very stressful, and even for a quite long period of time. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But it's important to identify these existential stressor and understand that they are not real threats. They are more connected our way to think and our way to perceive the world. So I hope you like this guy, and let me know, leave me any comment below, and I will be posting more videos.